A very good afternoon and thank you for joining us on Beetv News Updates at 3. I am Ruth Ogbodu and now the news in detail. The federal government says Nigeria's economy is recording improved stability and growth due to consistent policy drive and adjustments. Minister of Trade and Investment Dr. Jumoke Oduwole made this known during a recent visit to the Lagos-based vehicle assembly plant. The report.
The Minister of Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, recently inspected operations at Toyota assembly plants in Lagos as part of efforts to assess the impacts of government policies on the manufacturing sector.
Federal government, over the last 2.5 years, the Tinubu administration has stabilized the environment, has made sure that by the removal of subsidy and working on FX exchange rates, we've seen the Nigerian economy stabilize. Even the greatest critics would admit that the Nigerian economy has been stabilized. FX exchange rates and all those things that were causing unpredictability for business.
Speaking after the inspection, Dr. Oduwole commended the Central Bank of Nigeria for its role in monitoring the foreign exchange market and implementing measures to control inflation, noting that these efforts are key to economic stability.
For Nigerian people to have brand new cars, which is what Nigerians deserve, and they're partnering with banks and with Credit Corps, which is a Tinubu administration initiative, to make sure that there's funding available. So this company is signifying its willingness to partner with Credit Corps and Nigerian banks to have a facility that is reasonably priced for Nigerians to be able to own brand new cars, and are also committing to maintenance, to supporting the cars. They're standing by their products for up to 10 years, working with the owners of the vehicles to make sure that they have a warranty and a guarantee.
The minister added that the economic outlook remains positive, disclosing that the Central Bank of Nigeria projects the economy to grow by about 4% in 2026, reinforcing confidence in the federal government's policy direction. Zainab Mohammed reporting for Beetv News.
The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to the Commissioner for Finance in Bauchi State, Yakubu Adamu, in the sum of 500 million. The trial judge ruled that the bail must be perfected with two sureties of like sum, each of whom must own landed property within the Asokoro, Maitama, or Gwarimpa areas of the Federal Capital Territory. The court further ordered that documents of the landed properties be submitted to the court register as part of the bail perfection process. In addition, justice directed that the defendant must deposit his travel documents with the court registrar and must not travel out of the country without prior clearance from the court. The matter was subsequently adjourned while the defendant remains bound by the conditions set by the court, pending the continuation of trial.
And we are aware it is trite that the prosecution can, label any allegation against anybody. But where the work or the task the prosecution has to do is to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And our client's reaction to the allegations leveled against him, our client is of the view that he's innocent of sin. And we also believe that our client is innocent of the allegations. I don't want to refer the allegations as trumped up because he's still subject to the determination of the court.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has dismissed claims by Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed, alleging that the commission is being used by political opponents to persecute him and its aides. The anti-graft agency maintained that it operates independently and is not influenced by any political office order. In a statement issued by its head of media and publicity, Dele Oyewale, the commission urged the governor to focus on governance in Bauchi State and allow the EFCC to carry out its mandate of fighting corruption. The EFCC further stated that no political office order has the power to influence its investigative activities, adding that Governor Bala Mohammed was already standing trial for money laundering at the time he won election as governor. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory has criticized Governor Siminalayi Fubara, accusing him of failing to provide effective leadership in Rivers State. The minister made the remarks during a visit to Haoda local government area, stating that any leader unable to maintain working relationships with local government chairmen, members of the State House of Assembly, and other key stakeholders lacks the capacity to govern effectively.
Made last time. We are here to correct the mistake. I heard somebody said, oh, those who work with Atiku are back. They couldn't give Atiku 10%. So what is the political advantage? I won't call their names, but you all know them. So, in politics, when they cannot do what you are doing, they begin to say all kinds of things. So you don't need to bother yourself. The governor of Bauchi said, I'm the one who masterminded or who's masterminding. He forgot that in 2016, he faced EFCC. EFCC prosecuted him in court. Was I the one then? He got law that is not in prison today because of immunity as a governor. How come now you are having the same problem? You are not saying it was me that is masterminding this wicked self to get power.
The Kebbi State government has directed the reopening of all public and private primary and secondary schools for the second term of the 2025 and 2026 academic section, following their temporary closure after the abduction of the MAGA school girls. Resumption is scheduled for Monday, January 5, 2026. The announcement was made in a joint statement by Issa Ibrahim, Public Relations Officer of the State Universal Basic Education Board, and Aliu Bagarawa, Deputy Director of the Ministry for Basic and Secondary Education. Schools heads have been instructed to prepare adequately for a smooth return of pupils and students, while parents and guardians are urged to ensure their children resume properly. Normal classroom teaching and academic activities are set to commence on Monday, January 12, 2026. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State has ordered the controlled demolition of the Great Nigeria Insurance Building on Lagos Island after a fire left it structurally unstable. The directive came following an inspection of the building on Martin Street, where a technical committee confirmed that intense heat from the fire compromised the building's structural integrity, making it unsafe. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu urged residents to avoid actions that could endanger lives and properties, emphasizing the need for caution to prevent similar disasters.
Street into Shita, I counted well over 14 generators that are on 4 floors, on 5 floors, on 3 floors. I've seen buildings that have been built on top of building. Complete lack of regulation to what is called the essence of building codes and conformity with building regulations. All of that will still come, to that. But I just want to tell you that, this entire area, people have been completely, lawless. I saw shops that were actually built right next to transformers, which goes to show how people have been careless with their lives, because that's what we really can see. A fire started and people were after their goods are not mindful of their own life.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has dismissed reports claiming that it has released the timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general election. The clarification was issued by Adedayo Oketola, media advisor to the INEC chairman, who described the report as false and misleading. INEC emphasized that it operates strictly within the law. According to Section 21, Subsection 1 of the Electoral Act of 2022, the Commission is required to publish a notice of election no later than 360 days before the date set for a general election. The Commission assured Nigerians that the official timetable and schedule of activities for the 2027 general election will be released in due course. U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a stark warning to Iran, saying that the United States will come to the aid of protesters if Iranian security forces fired upon or violently kill them, as widespread demonstrations continue to shake the Islamic Republic. The reports.
In a message posted on his Truth social platform on Friday, Trump wrote that if Iran shoots and violently kills peaceful protesters, which is their custom, the United States would come to their rescue and that it is locked and loaded and ready to go. The president's threat comes amid ongoing protests triggered by a collapsing national currency, soaring inflation, and a deepening cost of living crisis that has sparked anger across cities and province. At least several people have been killed in clashes with security forces as demonstrators reject economic hardship and call for political change. Iran has faced mounting unrest in recent days, with protests spreading beyond Tehran to western provinces such as Lorestan and Charamahal and Bakhtiari. Videos shared on social media showed clashes between demonstrators and security personnel, with reports of fatalities and numerous arrests. Top Iranian officials have responded forcefully to Trump's comments. Ali Larijani, secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council, warned that U.S. interference in Iran's internal affairs would risk destabilizing the entire Middle East and urged Americans to watch over their soldiers. Iran's foreign ministry also condemned the U.S. president's remarks as reckless and dangerous, arguing that Tehran protests are mostly peaceful and accusing Trump of escalating tensions. Other Iranian leaders described any external interference as crossing a red line that could provoke severe repercussions. The unrest, described as the largest in Iran in more than 3 years, poses a significant internal challenge to Iranian authorities already grappling with economic hardship and public discontent. International reactions remain closely watched, with concerns rising that Trump's threats could heighten regional tension and complicate diplomatic efforts to address both Iran's internal crisis and broader geopolitical stability. Evelyn Izibile reporting for Beetv News.
We are going on a short break. Do stay with us.
Gone but not forgotten. Our dearly beloved mommy and matriarch, late Madam Gift Soe Irabo. Mommy, it's been 8 years since you left us in this sinful world, and just like a burnt down library, our world crashed when death took you away from us. As our mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, sister, aunt, and mother-in-law, we will not forget in a hurry the great lessons you taught us, especially your prayerful lifestyle that brought us closer to God. We remember your undying love, care, and passion for God and man. The entire family of Yorama Irabo of Ogo Town in Orion local government area of Edo State cordially invites the public to the 8 years remembrance of their daughter, mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother, Madam Gift Soe Irabo. Date, January 13, 2026. Venue, Rose Garden Event Center, number 22 Giwa Amu Street off Airport Road, GRA, Benin City. Time 12 p.m. prompt. Mommy, continue to rest until we meet to part no more. We love you dearly. Signed, Ambassador Ogene Osaumese JP for the family.
Welcome back, and now to the business news. Average hotel rooms rates in Lagos have climbed to a record of 205,534 naira as business and corporate travel rebounds faster than new hotel supply. Data from Estate Intel shows demand strengthening across prime